We're on.
Good evening. Welcome to the Herald Candidate and Issue Forum. Tonight, we have sent Genevieve, Board of Alderman candidates, plus representatives speaking on two of the ballot measures, the proposed library tax and the proposed fire district. So we will start out with the aldermanic candidates. It appears that not everyone was able to make it, but we have Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and Ward 4, so we have nearly everyone here. So we will start out with Ward 1 and go through in numerical order. I'll be asking each candidate the same question. Then we will go in serpentine order back with the second question. And following that, we will open the floor to questions from the audience. And just as a word of precaution, we will not entertain any bomb throwing in the question session. Anyone trying to start something will be quickly shut down, so we won't have a big kerfuffle going on. And following the aldermanic candidates, then Sean Long will make his pitch on the proposed library tax, and will then answer whatever questions the audience may have. And then Chief Kenny Steiger will speak about the proposed fire district, and we'll also field whatever questions. So if we're ready to get started, I will start off with incumbent Ward 1 Alderwoman Amy Dobbs. Your first question, please give a brief summary of your life and career, and tell us why you believe you were qualified to hold this position.
Well, I graduated college about 10 years ago, but I went on to own my own business. I've been involved in the community quite a bit. And I think that I am very interested in what's going on in the community, as well as I have a lot of people that I talk to on a daily basis in the community. I've lived in my ward for now 22 years in the same house that I've been in. So I've definitely put my roots there and raised my kids there. And I was just interested in, and still interested in, taking care of the town and being involved in it.
Thank you. Okay. Ward 2, Sam Huey, the same
Okay.
question?
Well, I've lived in St. Genevieve here in the same house since 1985. And pretty much that's been home. Our kids were raised there. I'm a graduate of Perryville High School. And I've been in business of some sort for a long time. My wife owned Rosie's Florist. And then I retired from Bloomsdale Excavating. So I have a fairly good knowledge of how construction, everything like that work. So I feel I'm uniquely qualified with my experience in the construction industry to sit here and be a steward to our money.
All righty, thank you. Ward 3, Joe?
Joe Steiger, current alderman. This is completing my first term. I got interested in helping city council several years ago. Have a business here in St. Genevieve, very involved civically and also here with city government. So got fairly big issues happening with city government. And so I'm happy to be a part of that and help us in any way that I can.
All right, and Ward 4, Teddy?
Yes, my name's Teddy Ross. I'm running for Ward 4 Alderman. And I live at 1145 Valley Spring Trail. And then first of all, I'd like to tell you, most people know me by Teddy. So if you see anybody, they know who Teddy is. So anyway, my wife and I have been married for 54 years. So I'm a kind of committed guy. And we resided in San Genevieve for about 19 years. So we got 3 grown children, we got some grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So today I'll touch on a little bit about my military career. It's greatly influenced my life. You know, I spent 21 years in the military. So the first time I went in, was drafted, but got to serve in Okinawa, Thailand, and Vietnam. And then I graduated from St. Louis University and went back in the military and retired. So, and I'd like to touch on also living 19 years in St. Genevieve. We've been involved in the community quite a bit ever since we moved here in 2005. And we have no plans to leave. The wife and I have been all over the country, living here and living there with the military. But we found home. This is our home, and we love it here. So I'm also a member of the Catholic Church, Knights of Columbus, American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and also I'm a co-team leader for the Parkinson's support group. So I spend time with them a lot. You know, we meet once a month. Anyway, just let people know that I'm running for alderman. I've gained a lot of valuable experience in my life. I've developed the leadership skills and knowledge of my journey through life. I've spent 6 years as a prior alderman from 2011 to 2017. And I will do to represent the people just like I did before to the best of my ability. Thank you.
All right, that concludes question 1. And like I said, we'll do this in serpentine order. So, could you else name one item you feel needs addressing within your ward?
One item addressing the board or an issue?
Um,
In your ward.
Oh, in my ward, I'm sorry.
yes,
Right now in my ward, I think everything is going pretty good, but each ward needs better roads. And we're working on that. The existing alderman, administration is working on that with the Proposition S. As far as other things, once I get in as alderman, I'd be going through the neighborhoods, talking to people, listening to them, and finding out what their concerns are. Thank you.
all right. Joe?
Similar to Teddy, I want to thank the other aldermen and candidates. Sam and Amy and Teddy have served in a lot of various ways throughout the community. So I want to commend them for civic groups and community and volunteer opportunities. And Teddy on previous boards of aldermen, I served with Teddy on his first term. I served back then too. So I want to thank them for that. As far as in Ward 3, I don't think has any unique needs compared to any of the other wards. I think they're very similar. Three of the things that we did, Proposition S, we just passed, the engineer has been hired, and now the bids have been let out and awarded. So we have those two, the asphalt and the concrete bids have been awarded. So that's going to get started here very soon in the spring or early summer. So we're very excited about that. Progress Parkway subdivision is underway. We're still trying to finalize the last bit of the contract with the developer. And so that might take at least a couple more weeks before we get that, but that will be a huge step forward. That's proposed of about 154 homes, and that will change the face of St. Genevieve. Having 154 homes, their proposal is within 5 years, they'll have 154 homes built out there along Progress Parkway. So having that will be a huge step forward for St. Genevieve, and I want to thank the board for pushing that through. Mayor Kime, Happy, our city administrator, David Boba, assistant city administrator, they've all put in a lot of effort to make this happen for the city. So those two are big issues. And then the third one, our planning and zoning committee has met, and we've passed a comprehensive plan about a year ago, and we're moving forward with the initiatives that are built inside that comprehensive plan, including we're about ready to bring an annexation plan to the boards to have them pass that. I think that there are some places that need to be addressed and looked at. And so those three topics, the reconditioning of the current streets that definitely need it, just like Teddy was talking about, the building of the subdivision out there at Progress Parkway, and implementing the comprehensive plan are critical for the growth of St. Genevieve.
All righty, thank you. And Ward 2, Sam?
Okay, our ward, we have, like Dave said, the street issue, and we're gonna get the new streets worked on in my ward. I'll be watching that, make sure that we're getting our money's worth, and listen to the other people in the ward. They've got other concerns, one being the school. I've heard a lot about that, and, I'll be looking at that, seeing what an opinion I can get on that, and just kind of watching things out. We've got, everybody's got big plans, and we'd like to see the neighborhood more flower pots, obviously. And I like flowers. But even though I'm in the business, I like flowers on or off the job. But, see more beautification projects, people maybe taking a little more care of their yards, grass, so forth like that. Neat, make the community neat to look at, be a showcase for us. That's kind of my desire. I like the neighborhood. I've been there, like I say, all my life, all my adult life here in St. Genevieve, and I like to be proud of it. That's my goal, make it a place to be proud to live. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. And Ward 1, Amy?
I would like to see the downtown area come more life. That's what I think needs to be worked on.
Okay. And does anyone in the audience have a question for any or all candidates? If so, just step up to this microphone. And if not, we'll move on. Oh, go ahead.
And just a personal question. Amy, what business did you run?
I own and operate Dobbs Dusters.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I just trying to put faces and places together.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? In that case, we'll move on to part 2. Sean Long, the Executive Director of the Genevieve County Library, will speak on why he feels the proposed library tax is needed. Go right ahead.
Good evening. My name is Sean Long, and I have the honor of serving as the library director at St. Genevieve County Library for the past 6 years. Tonight, I can stand here and tell you all the wonderful things that we wish to accomplish with additional funding through Prop L, but I'm here with a much simpler message. Our library is in trouble. In 2017, an intergovernmental agreement, which I'll lovingly refer to as an IGA, was made between the library, the community center, and the county commissioners. As part of this agreement, the library agreed to roll back our original 1960 tax levy, and in return, the library would have access to $200,000 annually from the community center to help sustain our services. That agreement was based on the understanding that by 2020, Wholesome Lafarge would be added to the tax rolls, ensuring that we would have more funds to work with and sustain the IGA. For years, this system worked, even when Wholesome protested their tax rate. Year after year, we've managed to dip into the IGA funds more than expected, but we've made it work. In 2023, something changed. The state repealed a county sales tax for businesses in the energy sector. That one change sent a ripple effect through our funding structure, shaking the very foundation of our library's financial future. Simply put, the library should be receiving approximately $600,000 annually. $400,000 from property taxes and $200,000 from the IGA. But because of Wholesome's tax protest and the uncertainty of the IGA, we are now looking at a potential income of just $300,000, which is less money than we had in 1960. Think about that. In 1960, a loaf of bread was 20 cents, gas was 31 cents, and the world has changed, but our funding hasn't just stagnated, it's regressed. In 2025, we trimmed our budget, cutting into program funds, physical book collections, digital resources, and more. But if nothing changes, we will face a $150,000 shortfall in 2026. I cannot tell you how devastating this would be. Over the last 10 years, we've built something truly special. We have created a library that is more than just books. It's a place where children discover the love of reading. It's a place where job seekers find tools to build a better future, where families come together to learn and grow. We fought for grant funding, sought out donations, and done everything possible to be good stewards of the money entrusted to us. Since my arrival, we've secured over $16,000 a year in grants and donations, funding that has helped us add valuable resources like our Charlie Cart and Shush Booth. But no amount of grants or donations can make up for a $150,000 loss. We've also raised out-of-county card fees, but these small steps just simply aren't enough. Every resident in our community has a right to a library card, and that card is more than just a piece of plastic. It's a passport to knowledge, it's a gateway to opportunity, it's a lifeline for many who rely on us, all that is absolutely free thanks to the support of our community. We are standing at a crossroads, and without action, the library we've spent a decade building together, the one that many of you have come to love and rely on, could be adversely affected. Tonight, I just ask you not to think about what the library means to you, but what it means to the child who finds their first favorite book, the student who needs a quiet place to study, and the job seeker who finds hope in our resources. It's not about politics, it's about preserving something that belongs to all of us. Thank you.
And we have any in the audience questions for Sean?
Mark, can we ask questions up here?
Oh, sure.
I was wondering, what percentage of the population here uses the library? Do you have any idea?
We have about 5,000 card holders right now, which is
Well, you have
pretty
a
good.
lot of card holders though, come in all the time.
Right. We track the numbers at the door, and when in 2017, when the IGA was put in place, we had about 15,000 people coming through the door. In 2024, that number was just over 25,000. So we've had a significant uptick in usage and people coming in the door. We've also seen a significant uptick in checkouts. I want to say this past year, we were at 24,000 physical books being checked out and 12,000 digital checkouts as well. So we have significantly increased usage and people coming in the door.
What area in the library is mostly used? When I've gone on before, is usually everybody is on the computers. Now, are you gonna upgrade computers with this increase?
That's the plan. One thing that our community has asked for is more computers and more training on those. We have a lot of senior citizens who come in asking for help with tech help, whether it's a computer or a phone. I'd really like to have more dedicated staff to help with those problems and issues. I'd like to do more on computer training. We started in 2021, we purchased 8 laptops, and we use those for senior tech classes and that sort of thing. And just with the nature of the laptops in general, they don't last nearly as long as our desktops do. We've lost all but 4 of them. So one thing that we've been wanting to do is get more so we can have more people doing computer training and that sort of thing. So that is definitely high on the list for us.
Well, that's a good program. My wife and some of her friends went over there and they did a computer class up there. Was it a phone? No, they did phones too, but computer to learn how to operate.
Yeah.
And she was very pleased. You guys did a good job.
Thank you.
And I got one more question. There was something about a quiet room. You're going to build a quiet room. Now, what is this for? For you guys or for the library people? Patrons? Or like, what is this quiet room?
So last year, I was able to get a donor for something called a shush booth. And it basically looks like a giant telephone booth that could fit about 4 people in it. So if you put 4 telephone booths together, it currently sits in the front left corner of the library or the back left corner as you go in. And that was directly to address some of the weaknesses that our current space has. We have people who come in and they are looking for that traditional quiet library. If you come on a Tuesday or during the summer at all, we have kids running around, and those quiet libraries really don't exist a whole lot anymore. We do our best to accommodate that.
No,
But we had a lot of complaints that we didn't have a quiet space for it. And when people come in looking for that, we do our best to give them our meeting room. But if someone's in our meeting room, we didn't have anywhere else to go. So we got that shush booth in response to patron requests and patron demand. One thing I would love to be able to add if we had more funding would be individual shush booths, which would accommodate just one person. So you could have individual people using it. It's got, a spot for your computer. It's got charging ports. It's got its own individual light. Everyone who uses it absolutely loves it. We have people who will come in, go directly to the corner, and if someone's in it, they like slump their shoulders and walk away sad and go, well, I guess I'll use the meeting room. So we got a lot of people who like using it. I've showed it to other libraries in the region, other directors, and they are absolutely in love with it. They love the idea of it. And it's something I think we can incorporate maybe one or two more in with.
Well, that's good. You know, I come from old school in the library. And you had to be quiet
Mhm.
or somebody's gonna whack you. You know? They're gonna make sure you're quiet.
Mhm.
Well, the libraries today is like you said, they're noisy. And so, I don't know, can you ask people to be quiet?
We do, and a lot of times too, we have kids who, you know, if they're being disruptive, we do ask them to
Well,
try
good.
and be quiet.
And the police things.
Yeah, and again, we're dealing with a building that was built 25 years ago, and unfortunately, when it was built, it wasn't, in my opinion, fully kind of thought through, because unfortunately, it's just one giant room. So a lot of newer libraries tend to have their kids' area built separate from the rest of the library, so it can contain that noise. One thing that we did in 2024, we did a strategic plan, and that kind of has directed the future for the library and what we wanted to do and what we intend to do. And one of the issues that we did find was trying to reduce noise in the library. So we've worked with some companies to help design a new layout, if we're successful with this, to address some of the concerns about noise traveling, because I believe the shelves that we have are from 1973. So they're dated and it doesn't help with the noise because it bounces off of the metal. So we're doing everything possible to help really address the concerns of the patrons and of the community.
Well, I think you guys are doing a good job and I'm gonna thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, and Kenny?
Okay, my name's Ken Steiger. I'm the fire chief of St. Genevieve. Tonight, I'm here to represent the Friends of St. Genevieve Fire District. Kind of let everybody know about and explain the proposed fire district. Before we start that, I would like to let everybody know, if they haven't already heard, that we do have a town hall meeting scheduled for the Progress Sports Complex, April 2nd at 7 o'clock. So it's open to the public. Anybody can come in, hear a presentation, ask questions. So if you don't get a chance to ask questions here tonight, there'll be a chance for you on April 2nd. To let you know, the idea of a fire district isn't new to the fire department here in St. Genevieve. We've talked about it off and on for the last 25 to 30 years. Every time we come across a major expense, we come to the city and say, how are we going to afford it? And so far, up to this point, they've been able to maintain it and meet the needs of the fire department. But with the cost of everything going up the way it is, the city is going to struggle with some of the major expenses we have in the not too distant future. So the actual movement of the fire district right now began with a couple of fire chiefs in the county and myself talking about the future of the fire service in this community and what we need to do to preserve it and keep the service there. As right now, we've got some departments in the county that are really struggling worse than what we are here in the city. So we talked about it, and the initial goal was to have all 7 departments in the county working together as a single fire district. But after we did our due diligence and research and everything to find out that's a workable situation, we found out that St. Genevieve right now has an ISO Class 4 rating. If we would join the county departments, that ISO rating would take a hit and drop down to a Class 6 because of some of the other departments' lower ratings. And in talking to insurance companies around town, that means if we would drop from a 4 to a 6, that would be potentially a 17% increase in homeowners insurance. So at that point, we told them we would like to do the district, but we're going to have to do it on our own. And the county agrees with us. There's no animosity between the two. We're still working together on everything, but we just can't do it as a single one unit. So we are proposing a fire district for the St. Genevieve City and our immediate rural coverage area. And just to let people know what ISO is Insurance Service Office. That's an independent third-party audit company that comes in and audits the capabilities of your fire department, your water system, and also the dispatch services you have. And they take that information and make it available to insurance companies, and most insurance companies set your homeowners rates according to the capabilities of the fire department, water department, et cetera. So the main benefit of having a fire district is securing funding for the fire department in the future. Every year, whenever we have budget session, I sit down with the city council, well, I sit down with the alderman and the city administrator, and we talk about budgets and what we need to survive, and some of the other things we ask for are capital improvements. In this last capital improvements budget, I was allowed $13,000 for turnout year replacement, which is an ongoing program, but that's all I could get as far as capital improvements. And the fire department has done what we can to try to make things better. In the last 10 years, we've been able to purchase almost $750,000 of equipment through grants that have been written by the fire department. So we're doing everything we can from our side to try to help out. There's a real good chance that without those grants, that equipment wouldn't be bought and we'd be that much further behind right now. To the credit of the city, whenever I went to them last fall and told them that one of the big expenses we need is a fire truck and explained the cost involved, they gave us the blessing to attempt the fire district because they can see in the future that's going to be an issue for the city to come up with the funding. Right now, the total estimate cost for a new replacement truck right now would be about $1.4 million. The only way the city's going to be able to afford that is do a lease purchase over like a 10-year period. And you can only imagine what the interest rates are going to be for something like that. You're going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest tacked onto that. Another major expense we have coming up in the near future, in 2015, we got a grant for air packs that we wear on our backs. And St. Genevieve's portion of that was $300,000. The NFPA, the people that set the standards the fire departments have to follow, says that an air pack is only good for 15 years. So in 2030, we're going to have to replace those. And the initial purchase was $300,000, so we're estimating that replacement is going to be $400,000 plus to replace that in 7 years. So if you really look at it realistically, in the next 7 years, the fire department's going to have to come up with almost $2 million to make some major replacements, and the city's going to really struggle to come up with that kind of money. So this is the way to take care of that. While we're talking about the NFPA, they also set age of vehicles that they recommend. NFPA says that a first out fire truck should only be in service for 15 years, then it'll be reserve status for 5, and then it should be decommissioned and gotten rid of. Right now, my first out pumper is 19 years old, and about 2 months ago, we had that truck go out of service for 48 hours for air brake issues. And while that was out of service, our backup truck was 32 years old. Who wants a 32-year-old truck putting the lives of your family member in the hands of a 32-year-old truck? So that's one of the reasons why we need a truck replacement pretty quick. Some of the current challenges we face right now is the call loads. Since 1990, our call load has greatly increased. In 1990, we ran 51 calls. In 2023, we ran 274 calls. That's a 407% increase in the call load for the city fire department. And when you look at that, people ask why. Because the expectations of the local fire department has changed. In 1990, we fought fires. Now we fight fires, we assist EMS. We actually will even fill in for the EMS whenever they have an ambulance coming from the county to stabilize people until the ambulance can take care of it. We run car wrecks now. We do specialty rescues. We kind of jokingly laugh about it, but we do pet rescues. In the last couple of years, we've rescued numerous cats and dogs and things like that. And we've also had some agricultural rescues too. So the role of the fire department has changed immensely. That's why we've had such an increase in call load. Not to mention fire alarms. Fire alarms are a good thing because they alert people, but they can also be a hindrance too, because you have to go on fire alarms unless you can prove that they're false alarms. So that's part of the reason why we've increased so much. By the same token, when you look at the increases, my budget, or the budget of the fire department, I should say, in 1990 was $47,000. This year, past year, it was $200,000 basically. So we have had an increase in the budget. But when you look at the numbers, that's a 300% increase in the budget compared to a 407% increase in the fire load. So we are getting more money, but we're still, when you look at the numbers, 100% behind on call load versus budget. Another one of the major issues that we're having problems with is manpower. In 1990, we had a waiting list of people that were wanting to be firefighters. Right now, in 2025, I have 4 open slots. If I had people on the list, I would put them on tomorrow. I'm fortunate enough that we've been able to maintain between 20 and 25, and I do have a new guy that's going to go on next week. So we're going to be at 25 and holding. One of the big things we talked about is the aging equipment. Equipment gets older, and we kind of joke at the firehouse that we're our own worst enemy because we do keep things in very good shape and it looks good, but they don't realize the age of it. So we have things that need to be replaced. If you follow the criteria of the NFPA, by 2026, I will only have 3 vehicles out there that should be running. A 2022 brush truck, a 2019 ladder truck, and a 2008 rescue truck. The rest of my equipment should all be decommissioned and gone just because of the age of it. And the ever-increasing cost, it just amazes me. Some references we can make in 1973, we passed a $100,000 bond issue in the city. And we bought a bumper truck, a van. We bought the property on Main Street where the firehouse is. We built the firehouse. We bought 24 helmets, boots, helmets, coats, and pagers. In 1992, we passed a $200,000 bond issue, and we bought a truck and had to use $60,000 out of that to put equipment on it. And 2008, we bought a rescue truck, and that we actually used the rural fire fund from selling fire tags, and we did a 10-year lease purchase on a $350,000 truck then. And the last truck that we bought new was 2019, our ladder truck, and that truck was $219,000. So the prices have continued to go up immensely. So
How much was the ladder truck?
the ladder truck was $729,000.
I think you said 2.
Yeah, so if I did, it was a mistake. It was $729,000. That same truck, if you were to buy it now, I did some research on insurances, trying to get replacement cost insurances. And right now, if that truck would be totaled, they would give us about the initial asking price. But to purchase that truck now is about $1.8 million. So they would only give us half if the truck would be totaled. So one of the things that we talked about years ago is we tried to get a vehicle replacement tax in place and it failed. And we've talked to the city and they've been putting money aside for vehicle replacement. And when I talked to them before the beginning of the year, asked them how much we have about $120,000 set aside to buy a $1.4 million truck. So one of the main goals of the fire district, if we can get it in, would be to establish a vehicle and equipment replacement fund that is sizable and can handle the replacement costs we're going to have. So basically the thing that we could use help with obviously is vote yes. And if you think it's a worthwhile situation, we're looking for endorsements. If anybody willing to say, yes, we agree with it. That's pretty much a summary of it.
Questions?
I have no questions. I just have a comment, if I may. Okay. Randy Rizika, your presiding commissioner. I know almost everybody in this room. Amy, I don't know you, but I know you've been around for a while. I just want to say thank you to everybody here for what you do. I've sat there in your seats. I know the struggles. I continue to have them. It's good that people want to be involved. It's very easy for folks to complain. It's a lot harder to jump in there and try to make it right. You know, the old expression that criticism comes much easier than craftsmanship, that particularly applies to public service. So thank you to everybody for what you do and for your desire to help the community. Kenny, I was with you on some of that, you know, when I was here, and I live it every day at the county. The rates at which things have inflated, the cost of trying to run a department is just insane, you know. Sean, I've been, you know, you and I have worked together for 4 years. Unfortunately, I'm usually the guy that brings you bad news. So, you know, understand it's never anything personal. It's just the situation we were in, and you did a very good job of explaining how we got where we are. We could talk all night about that. I'm not going to go down that road, but I just want to say personally, I look at it like this. We all want lower taxes. Nobody likes paying taxes. It's a dirty word, but everybody wants a service when they want it. When they pick up the phone, they want you guys or whoever, first responder, whatever they need, they want somebody to be there. It costs money for that service. If you want to have a fully equipped library, it costs money to do it. So I'm not here to tell anybody how to vote, but I'm just saying am happy that you all are engaged and involved, and me personally, I want the services. So I support what you guys are proposing. I hope everybody weighs that, what they're receiving when they look at what it's going to cost. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Mark, I have one comment.
And
My comment is, I want to challenge the voters in Ward 4 to support this. We need this. We got a good fire department. We want to keep it, and we want to keep up on updating it and everything, so I challenge them to vote for it. Thank you.
all right. Well, if no one else has any questions or comments on the final two issues, then I think we can wrap things up tonight. It's been short but sweet. I think we put some information out there for people. And I thank everyone who came out to take part tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Mark.
Thank you.